Most people never learn this. Not at school, not from their first job, not from their first paycheck. Because on the surface, it looks simple. Money in, work done. That's it. But underneath, something else is happening. And if you don't see it early, you miss it for years. Alex did everything right. He got the job after much preparation, set up his bank account, registered a tax number so he could be paid, showed up early for each shift, worked his shifts, and never called in sick. Alex said yes when others didn't, especially the holiday shift, the one that paid more, but it did come at a sacrifice of time with family and friends. He earned this. The payment arrives.
Okay.
Not excitement, not pride, something else, a pause, a feeling that doesn't fully make sense.
That looks lower than I expected.
Not panic, not anger, just friction. This is where it starts. Frustration, impatience, the urge to just move on and ignore the feeling. To tell yourself, it's probably fine. Because checking feels slow and uncomfortable and uncertain. And that is why most people stop here. But Alex doesn't. He pauses, looks again, and instead of reacting, he checks. That small decision changes everything. A paycheck isn't just money. It's a breakdown. Hours worked, pay rates, holiday rates, deductions, a system, and systems can be wrong. He checks his hours against the roster. One shift stands out.
I worked that whole day, not just 4 hours.
There it is. It isn't just a feeling. It was a mismatch, a mistake. Alex keeps going. That holiday shift. The one he chose to take because it paid more. It was the company's policy. A higher rate. But on the pay slip, it doesn't reflect that.
That's not right either.
Two issues on one single paycheck. Nothing dramatic, but together, it matters. This is how it usually works. Not big mistakes, but just small ones. Things that feel too minor to question. And it's not because people don't care. It's because no one shows them what to look for. So it is easier to just move on. And these same mistakes repeat. For parents, this is the concern. Not whether their child can earn money, but whether they can protect what they earn. Because making the effort without respecting the reward for it, it just takes you back to the starting point. Alex doesn't guess. He musters the confidence and decides to ask someone who understands it. The company's payroll specialist. Someone who produces and reads pay slips every day. They go through the pay slip line by line. Hours worked. Rates applied. Relevant deductions. And it becomes clear. There were errors. The hours worked. This was recorded incorrectly. The holiday pay. It was missing the higher rate. This was fixable. And only because Alex had bothered to ask the question. And this matters, because most people never get to this point. Something changes here. Not just the money. It was a change in mindset. Alex now had the confidence to continue asking other questions he had.
Why is tax taken out? I don't even earn that much.
A simple question, but it was an important one. This was not something he was ever taught, not at school or discussed amongst his family or friends. He learns that tax deducted is just an estimate. This is assessed at the end of the tax year, when Alex's earnings for that period is recorded. If his earnings are below the estimate, he could get all his tax withheld back when he files his tax return. Alex makes a mental note to file a tax return at the end of the tax year. Alex is now feeling good. He understands what his payslip means, how his gross earnings are calculated, hours multiplied by the hourly rate. He understands that there are deductions, and what is banked is his total net earnings. Alex now knows how to check his payslip, what to look for. All because he had the confidence to ask a question. And that is control. But this isn't the hardest part. Because once the number is right, something else happens. Not frustration, not confusion, something quieter.
I can just earn more later.
And that's when and where most people lose control.